YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video for you guys. Now, this particular podcast, there's a woman who is talking about using men basically for recreational use and how she was able to do that and able, because she is married. Now, this is a married woman basically talking about using men as recreational use and how you navigate that. And, you know, I just want to you guys to hear what she's saying, because I don't fully agree with what she's saying. But I'm gonna stop talking. I want to go hop into the clip. Before we get into the clip, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, share and like the video, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. And definitely chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let's get into the video. Here we go.
Loved what you said so much about accepting your fate, because when you just know in your heart, and most people can know this, 80% of people will find a long-term partner by 40. I can't promise you that 80% of people are going to get a house, are going to have their dream job. I can't make that kind of promise you're going to live in the best city. But that is a stat that only exists for this space. So you can almost move like it's going to happen.
I disagree with that, because that's not what we're seeing. I wish I could find where that stat is, that 80% of women will have a life partner by 40. When we see so many women who are in that age group complaining about getting, and I don't know if she's just meaning just a man that's in your life, or is she referring to husbands? Because if you're referring to husbands, then that stat doesn't make any sense. And there are a lot of women out here who are struggling to find healthy, stable relationships and keep them. So you may find a man at 40, but are y'all in a long-term healthy relationship? Because that, it seems to be the issues that, you know, people who are out here dating, that seems to be the issues that they're having. But let's continue.
But you also have no control over when you meet that person. What you do have control over, I think, though, is your light. Like being in a space where you are light, where you feel liquid, where you don't feel needy because you have opportunities around you. I would say, and I did this when I had a buddy, which Jared is my buddy, which is the worst plot twist. I know, it's so boring.
Now look what you turned into.
Such a good buddy relationship, because I had Jared as a buddy. I had a cuddle buddy who I would go and sleep over with afterwards, because that's
not what y'all had.
No, but the other guy, I would go over there. We never had sex, but I would walk his dog.
It had to be smaller.
We would be
attracted.
He was so fine. He was a model. He wasn't what Jared had sexually, sauce wise and skill wise.
The skill.
He's smiling on it.
This other dude was stunning and gorgeous. I loved being around him. I liked his energy. I just didn't think we would have great sex. But I knew I liked being around somebody really attractive, and he was fun. You can have 6 people that make up one and keep your heart open, and knowing that when you find the one, you're gonna know.
And you don't have to sleep with all 6. That's another thing about dating. Like when you share, oh, I'm talking to 6 guys, doesn't mean I'm having sex with all of them. So you could literally kind of build a bear until you find the one that you really want to be like, okay, I'm good with talking.
I really think this is dangerous rhetoric. I do. And listen, I do understand that, you know, people have a past, and people, you know, you when you're young, you know, you don't know what you're doing. Both men and women, you don't know what you're doing. Even when you're in a relationship young, you don't know what you're doing. Those relationships become rocky at some point. There's ups and downs for sure. You can't have 2 young people in a relationship or a marriage where there's not going to be any issues, because y'all are either you're going to figure it out together or you're going to figure it out apart. And when you figuring it out apart, you're figuring it out with different people. And when you're trying to figure it out with different people, that could become an issue, because a lot of times you don't learn from, you don't have enough skin in the game to really learn from your mistakes. You're just kind of aimlessly out there. And at least she's being honest. That's her experience about, you know, what she was doing. Okay, she's honest about it. And she's been successful in getting a husband and having a family, so she can speak on it. But I don't think that that's going to be for the majority of people. And I think that could be misleading for a lot of young women to think that, oh, I could follow her, and I think her name is Shan. I could follow her program, and I'm going to get the husband and the outcome that she's got. So it's hope for us, ladies. We should just go out here and be free and sleep with, have these whole phases and do all of that. Because I don't think that that's a good message to send to women. I don't think that that's going to help them, especially in this dating realm. And so I just think, while she is honest and that's her experience, I think it can be detrimental to young women who are coming behind her. So I don't see this being conducive to healthy, stable marriages and building families. I just don't. Let's continue.
Used from a man, like in the way Shan used the model guy. You know, some people don't like that word. We're using someone for everything, right? And when he would come over to me, I love to cook. So I could tell, like, when we would make jokes, he's like, I miss having a girlfriend, you miss having a boyfriend. That admittance of that is like, oh, it's not you. But I kind of liked playing house a little bit. I loved having him come over, eat my meal, or no, it sounded like eat my coochie. Enjoy my meals, watch TV. No, we didn't have sex. Watch TV with me. We'd cuddle a little bit, and that was just kind of it. And I wondered for a long time, is he not as attracted to me because there's no sex? And I was like, oh, he's just not enjoying or able to enjoy the other woman he's having sex with in that way. So for me, he doesn't want to touch that. We connected on dates, but it wasn't crazy sexual energy to where we were that comfortable. That person does exist too. The buddy to me that becomes the cuddle person, I think everyone starts to get really confused. And I'm not talking about basic cuddling after. When it turns into the sleepovers and maybe a plan after, that's when it gets scary. Because we believe the cuddling after is respect. There's no world where Jared ended up marrying a woman he never respected. Leaving after sex doesn't mean there isn't respect there. It's just sometimes the safeguard for both people. But for some reason, we think if they leave or if we don't get XYZ out of them, we're worthless or we gave up too much of ourselves. Well, you got too. So it's weird because I guess the accepting the fate thing, it's like knowing what I want could only be this. If I get some extras, cool, but this is what it is.
For women like us, and I'm putting us together, who, again, there's a gap between what they see themselves doing and what they're actually doing. A lot of that is because of fear. So I'm just curious if you guys feel like you lost anything in pursuit of sexual liberation.
I think early on I lost myself. Like I said earlier, I was doing things for the pleasure of someone else. I was seeking validation from someone else. I was thinking that, back to what we were talking, if I give him the best head of his life, he's gonna like me more and put me on a pedestal and all these things. Like, I lost myself for a long time in the pursuit of confidence, essentially. Like it was a false sense of confidence that I wore out to parties and clubs. And yes, I had the personality, but maybe I didn't look as, the part. And so I lost myself a lot.
What she's saying is what tends to happen to so many young women. Because, people talk about not knowing themselves. When you're young, you're still developing. You really don't know who you really are. And if you don't, and on top of that, if you don't have the right guidance by parents, mentors, or whoever to kind of steer you in the right direction, you're kind of like aimlessly out there. That's why I use that, because you're aimlessly out there, not really knowing what you want, what you're looking for. And so you run into issues where a lot of these women are very insecure. They don't have any confidence or self-love a lot of times, and they're looking and searching for that. So you end up searching in the wrong places through men a lot of times, and then people equate, the feeling of sexual intimacy with love, or with, somebody, it's a feeling like, oh, this person cares, or they see you in a certain way. You equate that to that. And then when you realize it's not that, and that person doesn't see you in that way, it could completely lose you. You could completely, fall apart within yourself, because you don't know how to deal with that. You don't know what that is, and you don't know how to deal with that feeling and how that makes you feel. And I think this is what happens to a lot of young women. They go out here and they confuse sex with their feelings, and they internalize it, and they think that this is sometimes love, or that this person cares about them. And then when they really realize that, you just wanted me, this was just a transaction to you, you don't really care, you don't really like me, you just wanted sex. And then they have to break that down, and they have to understand that. And then a lot of times when they finally do, it makes them bitter. So a lot of these bitter women, then they become even more promiscuous. But then it become, that's when they use that word liberation, where you are controlled, to where you take it and now you control it, and you control your emotions and how you feel about it. So you don't stop the behavior, you just transform it and take it, and you take the power. This is what they say, you take your power back. taking your power back, a lot of times they're not saying, hey, remove the sex from these men who don't take you seriously, and only preserve that for somebody that really cares and want to be with you and takes you seriously. But they take the power in the sense of, I got the power. I control how I give my body to them. I control it. I'm not going to let them. So I don't care. And they take on this false sense of, you don't care about them. It's not a feelings thing. I'm gonna go into this numb. Oh, I'm gonna put it on him and I'm gonna walk away and have him running behind me. I'm gonna use it and put the power in my control, and I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna become liberated and empowered to do it the way I want to do it. And so a lot of these women this is why you hear women so proud to talk about they're doing threesomes and trains getting ran on them, because they feel liberated, because I can do what I wanted. I don't have to care, and I'm not in it for the feelings. I'm going to get this feelings like this, and then I'm gonna walk off, and I don't care about whether he cares or not, because I'm in control. And I do think that is a false idea of empowerment. Let's continue.
And now I feel like I've gotten that back through like just being more confident with what I like and how I want to pursue my partners or what we want to partake in. But that's what I would say I lost during that search.
I want to ask about that, because you always hear the story of the woman who was sexually liberated, did her thing, had her phase, enjoyed it, who then finds a partner, finds God, finds insert here, and now is like, if I could give advice to younger women, it would be don't. Respect yourself, love yourself.
I don't think that that's the advice I would give. Even with the rebrand, right? When we started Horrible Decisions, we wore the badge proudly. Like, we have the hive. Like, it was a word that we essentially wanted to reclaim. Unfortunately, with the reversal of Roe v. Wade and all these other trying to take away our rights and autonomy, I think that we're even down the rabbit hole even further of what it looks like to be labeled as that. And I think as a woman seeking her own sexual liberation, and what it really means is freedom and power to remove yourself from all stigmas and all labels that patriarchy has wanted to give us, right? So for me, where I thought it would be an empowering word, it's one of those words that we as women, I don't think we'll ever get to reclaim, unfortunately. And so that title,
you gave up.
It's not a badge to wear that anymore. However, to feel free and to feel powerful and to be able to express to a man no, and to say, actually, this is how I receive pleasure. If you can't do that, I'm fine. Me not changing myself to appease a man or to be more likely for him to select me. That's power. That's liberation.
Yeah, I just think it's not. I think it's, and it's something that a lot of women are complaining about now, because women they still want companionship. They still would love husbands. If they could find a man that really loves them enough and want to be with them to marry them, they would accept it openly. But they want men to accept them in the state that they're in. The men are not accepting women who have had these whole phases and all these different men. They're just not accepting it. So it makes it very difficult for women to really feel empowered when they know most men, if they found out about your whole phase in your past, they kind of move along. Or if you got multiple children, multiple baby daddies that men will pass. And I think it's going to be a constant reminder to these women who are still trying to feel liberated and empowered by this, that is really not that. So I just think we could do better with teaching young women that you don't have to have a whole phase. You really don't. You don't have to go down that road. Even if you as a woman that's older and married and you chose that path and you change your mind, you still should be telling young women that is not the route to take. If you've learned from your mistakes, you need to let them know that they don't have to make those mistakes. So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, so make sure you chime in, keep the conversation going, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.